here's the thing, Vortex. People have chosen evil. They've chosen evil. They've chosen to have the elite rule over them. Just because you don't vote doesn't mean that you're not still voting. Because you vote every time that you buy something. You vote every time that you pay attention to something. You vote every time that you extend your energy in one particular direction. Now, I will totally admit the fact that I regret every single time I've ever voted. And I voted for a Republican, I voted for a Democrat, I voted for a socialist, and yes, I voted for Donald Trump, okay? They all made me feel like crap. Of course, the initial feeling was like, oh, I did something positive, and then the next day I just wanted to kill myself, okay? Voting is not a good thing because you're going along with the system that taxes the shit out of you and lies to you about everything. They tell you that they're doing one thing and they do the complete opposite. But people will continue to vote for it, and people will say stupid shit like, let's go Brandon, because they don't know that that's part of the problem. When you go along with the easy way out. You see, the easy way out for me would be to vape or to do what everybody else is doing and just say, oh, I can't stop smoking. I've tried to stop smoking, but I can't. I came up with a ridiculous way to quit smoking. Now, I mean, I know a lot of people use toothpicks because it's part of the oral fixation, but pretending that it's a cigarette, that's totally my idea, because I really believe that it is a cigarette. I don't know, maybe it's not my idea. Maybe somebody else had this idea and they gave it to me subconsciously and I took it from them, and I'm sorry I stole it from you, and I'm not giving you credit, whoever you are. But here's the thing. If it ever gets popular, it's going to be because of me. Because I'm the only one that's crazy enough to not care about looking stupid. Because a lot of people look at me like I'm fucking dumb because I do that shit. But they have no idea how much I used to smoke. And they have no idea how much I'd smoke now if I still allowed myself that option. I don't think I haven't thought about it. There's all kinds of shit I want to do. That don't mean it's good for me. But I look at like the smartphones the same way that I look at smoking cigarettes. Like, so say I'm smoking a cigarette and I'm blowing it in another person's face. That's essentially what they're doing to me every time they have a smartphone. You understand? That's radiation. And that's fucked up. That there are people that don't subject themselves to this shit that have to deal with it. You want to complain about the environment? You want to complain about all these things that are happening to animals and our atmosphere and all that shit, but nobody's complaining about this shit? Well, let's not say that. I know there are people in small towns that are complaining about it. I know there's some towns in California that have halted that 5-7 shit. It's like, we don't need that shit. The only people that are in favor of it are either the elite, which of course they're in favor of that because it's a horrible idea and it allows them more control over us. So why wouldn't they be in favor of that? And the fact that they are, that should make people really suspicious, okay? Do you hear little Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez whining about that in relation to the environment? Do you hear any of these leftist lunatics that whine about climate change talking about that shit? No, because they're totally dependent on their phones. Because if they didn't have their phones, they wouldn't be a person. Well, they aren't a person anyway, but you know what I'm saying. They wouldn't be able to exist. People are so dependent on that shit. I could use this in a bit. If people had the option, if they were given the option, like, here's a machete, you must chop your arm off, or never use a phone ever again, which one do you think they would choose? What's sad is how many of them would be thinking about it for an extended period of time. And what's even sadder is that's probably the only thing that they would have really thought intensely about since they got that phone. You know? Because they would be, you know, trying to come up with some way, like inside their head, they'd be like, man, I'm sure that I could figure out how to live without this arm. I'm sure I'd be fine. I'm sure that pain that I'd experience wouldn't be that bad, you know, like, hey, I could take a selfie. I could take a selfie and I could live stream it. And oh my God, and then people feel sorry for me. Oh my God, yeah, maybe I could get some money on GoFundMe.